Hi, I'm Elaine and welcome to my channel. Now today is a very special day in our house. Today is my husband's birthday and we are going to make one of his favorite cakes in the whole world. We're going to make a homemade carrot cake and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. Now I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees and I have also lined a 10-inch tube pan with parchment paper, and I greased and floured that as well because we don't want this to stick, and it does have to bake a long time and we don't want it to get too brown on the bottom either, so that's why we're doing the parchment paper. So let me go through the ingredients list with you, and I will also list those ingredients down below in the description so you can make this yourself if you like. Okay, so we're going to start with 1 1/4 cup cooking oil. This is just canola oil that I'm using. We're going to need 2 cups of white sugar, 4 large eggs. We're going to need vanilla extract, and we're going to need black walnut flavoring. We are going to need 2 cups of self-rising flour, and this flour has been sifted first and then measured because you don't want it to pack down in the bag and then cause you to use way more flour than you intended to use. Okay, and then we are going to need 1 teaspoon of baking soda. This is baking soda and not baking powder, baking soda. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of salt. We're going to need 1.5 teaspoons of ground cinnamon. And we are going to need 3 cups of shredded carrots, which I have in the refrigerator. We're also going to need 1 can of crushed pineapple, and this has been drained, and I reserved 1/2 cup of the juice so that I can use in my, I'm going to make my pineapple cream cheese frosting to go on this. And okay, and then the last thing that we'll need is 1 cup of black walnuts. Alright, so let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to turn you down here so you can see. Bring it up a little. Okay, and let's move this stuff out of the way a little bit. We can make some room here to work. Bring that up a little more. There you go. That is just about it right there. Okay. Alright, and so what we're going to do right now is we are going to take our our flour, and I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Alright, and then I'm just going to kind of take a fork and stir that together, and then we're going to set that aside. Alright, that should be good enough. We're just going to set that aside. Okay. Now we're going to add our oil. And our sugar. And I'm going to beat that together until I get it well mixed. So when I get this beat, I will be back with you. Okay, I have this well blended, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit more so you can see a little better into the bowl. Okay, so let me raise this up a little. Okay, and there's what that looks like. So we have that well mixed. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add our eggs one at a time, and we're going to beat well after each addition. So let me get this first egg ready to go in. Alright, we're going to beat that egg. Bear with the sound of the mixer. Alright, there is the first egg. I'm going to add the second one. add the third egg. There, I had to adjust that so you could see a little better. It didn't look like you could see really well. Okay, and then I'm going to add my last egg. This is the fourth one. Make sure I didn't get any shells in that. I don't think I did. Usually I break those in a bowl, but I didn't this time because I wanted to make sure that I did get these eggs added one at a time. Sometimes when you put them in a bowl, you can end up adding 2 or 3 eggs at once because it'll kind of flop in, and we don't want that. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me throw this egg carton out and get that. Try and keep as much of this clutter cleared as I can as I go along. Okay, so at this point I am going to add my flavoring. So I'm going to start with the vanilla. And let me find my teaspoon. There it is. So we're going to add 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Oh, well, look what I did. That's why sometimes it's better not to do this over the bowl, because those things happen. Okay, so let me move that. Okay, shake that up a little bit. And this is my black walnut extract. And I will go ahead. I think I ordered this from Amazon because it's very difficult to find black walnut extract usually in the stores. So, all right, and there is my black walnut extract. That was also 1 teaspoon. Okay, and I'm going to beat this up a little bit more, and as soon as I do, I will be back. Okay, I'm back, and you can see that I have all the flavorings and the eggs and everything well mixed, so it's time to add the flour. So let me get a spoon, and we're going to add this flour a little bit at a time, because at this point this batter is going to be very, very thick. It will thin out again once you add the carrots and everything else to it, but while you're doing this part, it's going to be very thick. Okay, so and definitely you want to do this by hand because you want to avoid over mixing this batter. You just don't want to. When you over mix batter, the texture of your cake will change, and a lot of times it becomes very dry and crumbly. Just not good texture for a cake. You want this to be nice and moist, and it also is going to be a pretty dense cake. Not quite as dense as a fruit cake, but it will be pretty dense. Kind of a lot like my apple and black walnut cake that I have done videos on in the past. Okay, we're getting this done. Okay, and when I get this batter mixed up, I will be back and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Okay, I am back, and you can see this is a pretty stiff batter. So don't be alarmed if you make this and your batter is pretty thick like that, because it will thin out once we get these carrots put in, which I'm going to add right now. We're going to go ahead and add these carrots. And this was 3 cups of grated carrots. Alright, move that out of the way. And get our carrots mixed in. Now this recipe is the recipe that my mother-in-law used to make. And she gave this recipe to me when my husband and I first got married, because he loved this carrot cake so much, and she wanted to make sure that I could make it for him, and I do. I have made this every year. I make this for his birthday if I can, and we make it around Christmas time. Now you can see what I said about the batter. When you add those carrots, that batter will thin out, so, and get to where it'll be pourable. Okay, so at this point, we're going to add our crushed pineapple, and this was a 20-ounce can. And again, we drained it well, and I reserved 1/2 cup of the juice because I'm going to be using that in my cream cheese frosting. Okay, so there is our pineapple. Let me get some of these dishes out of the way so I can have to see what I'm doing. Okay, and also, I had forgotten a key ingredient. We don't want to do that. And I'm going to put that in right now. This actually should have gone in with the flour, but okay, so I'm going to add this is my cinnamon, and I'm going to go ahead and just stir that in, and that will be fine. It's not going to hurt a thing. It's not the first time that I have ever done that. So, and I'm sure that it won't be the last. So we're just going to mix that through. Make sure that that mixes up and incorporates well into the rest of the batter. Okay. And it did. You can see it's mixed up well. All right. And the last thing I'm going to do is stir in my nuts. And this is 1 cup, maybe a little bit more, of black walnuts. Now, if you can't get black walnuts, you can use regular walnuts, or you can use pecans if you like. I really like the black walnuts, and I love the taste that the black walnuts and the black walnut flavoring give this cake. It just makes it really, really good. All right, and there is our batter. So let me go get our tooth pan. Okay. And I'm going to start pouring this in, and you can see this batter now pours very easily. You don't have to spread it in like you do the fruit cake batter that I did recently, and my apple nut cake batter. You can just pour this right in. All right, and there it is. So we're going to bake this. Let me turn this up so I can see you. Okay, we're going to bake this at 350 degrees at 1 hour and 10 minutes. Now I'm going to check this in 1 hour because oven times vary, and sometimes my oven can cook a little bit fast, and sometimes it doesn't. So, but we're going to check this in 1 hour, and when a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean, this cake is done. So we'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and my cake is out of the oven. It took right at 1 hour in my oven, and let me show you what we got. Okay, bring it a little closer, and there is our carrot cake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it cool the rest of the way, and I'm going to put it in this airtight container. And what that airtight container will do is it's going to form droplets, water droplets inside the lid as this cools, and as it cools it will begin to absorb those water droplets, and it'll help keep that cake good and moist. And so I'm going to let this cool to room temperature. When it gets cool, I will make the frosting, and I'll bring you back then. Okay, my cake is completely cooled, and we're ready to make the frosting. So let me turn you down. Okay, you should be able to see that pretty well. Okay, so in this bowl I have 1 stick of softened butter and 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese that's also been softened. And I have put that in my mixer, and to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And I didn't spill it this time like I did when I was making the cake. Alright, so let me go ahead and get this started mixing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get this beat till it's smooth, and I will be right back with you. Okay, you can see I have that mixed, and now what we're going to do is I have 1 pound of confectioner sugar, and I'm going to add that a little at a time. So let's just start with a few spoonfuls and get this going. Okay. That mixed in. And I'm going to add just a touch of the pineapple juice. Alright. There. Let's add a little more of the confectioner sugar. Okay, and I'm going to keep doing this, and when I have this all mixed up and ready to put on the cake, I will be back. Okay, and I have the icing, the sugar all mixed up, and we are still a little stiff, so that's what we're going to, that's what we saved, what we reserved this pineapple juice for. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the reserved pineapple juice and get this a little bit better spreading consistency. Just add a little bit at a time. I reserved a half a cup, but it may not take that much. Okay, let's see where we're at. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, and I think we have a good spreading consistency, so let me take this beater off of here. Scrape that down a little bit. Okay, and here is our cake. Put that where you can see a little better. There we go. Okay, let me grab my spreader. Okay, and I'm just going to start on the top of the cake and then kind of push it down over towards the edges, towards the sides. Like that. Okay, and then we just start bringing it down over the sides. And I forgot to put down some wax paper like I usually do. Normally I put down wax paper along the edges of the cake so that I don't make a mess. But that's okay. If I make a mess, I'll just take a damp paper towel and get it cleaned up. Not a big deal. Okay. I think he's going to be happy with his birthday present. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this frosted, and I will be right back with you. Okay, I am back, and I have my cake all frosted, and let me turn you down so you can see it. Okay, and there it is, all ready for his birthday celebration later on. And what I have done on the top of it is I just sprinkled some black walnuts and on the top just to kind of decorate it a little bit. So there's his birthday cake. So, okay, and if you found this video helpful and you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe and hit the message bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. And also, if you know someone else that you think might enjoy this video, please feel free to share it. Okay, well, I'm going to go put this up until we're ready to celebrate later on. So y'all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching. See you next time.